बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। 26th 27th was done. So we could not complete the purport last time. One aspect of the purport I'll take today, and we'll recite text 28. The one aspect of only by bhakti you can understand Krishna. That part, bhaktyaham ekaya grahya. We'll take that also as part of the class today. So we're discussing today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, chapter entitled The Prayers of the Personified Vedas, and we are reciting and discussing on text 28 as well. Tvam akarnah swarad akhila karak shakti dharas tava balim udvahanti samadanti ajaya nimishaha Parshambhujo akhila kshitipatir iva vishvarisrijo vidadhati atra ye tva adhikrita bhavatascha chakitaha Tvam, you, akaranaha, devoid of material senses, Swarat, self-effulgent, Akhila, of all, Karaka, sensory functions, Shakti, of the potencies, Dharaha, the maintainer, Tava, your, Balim, tribute, Udvahanti, carry, Samadanti, and partake of, Ajaya, along with material nature, Animishaha, the demigods, Varsha, of districts of a kingdom, Bhujaha, the rulers, Akila, entire, Shiti, of the land, Patehe, of the Lord, Eva, as if, Vishwa, of the universe, Srijaha, the creators, Vidadhati, execute, Yatra, in which, Ye, they, too, indeed, Adhikrita, assigned, Bhavataha, of you, Chakitaha, afraid. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Though you have no material senses, you are the self-effulgent sustainer of everyone's sensory powers. The demigods and material nature herself offer you tribute, while also enjoying the tribute offered to them by their worshippers, just as subordinate rulers of various districts in a kingdom offer tribute to their lord, the ultimate proprietor of the land, while also enjoying the tribute paid them by their own subjects. In this way, the universal creators faithfully execute their assigned services out of fear of you. Purport. Again, a long purport. An intelligent living, all intelligent living beings should acknowledge the sovereignty of the Lord and willingly engage in devotional service to Him. Such is the consensus of the personified Vedas. But Lord Narayan, while hearing these prayers, may have reasonably asked, since I also have a bodily form with sense organs and limbs, am I not just another doer and enjoyer? Especially since, as the super soul in every being's heart, I supervise countless organs and limbs, however, not implicated in the sum total of everyone's sense gratification? No, the assembled Shrutis here rejoin. You have no material senses, yet you are the absolute controller of all. As expressed in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 3.18, Apanipado Javano Grahita Pashyatya Achakshusa Shrunotya Akarnaha Savetti Vedyam Nachatasya Veta Tamahuragram Purusham Puranam. He has no feet or hands, yet he is the swiftest runner and can grasp anything. Though without eyes or ears, he sees and hears. Nobody knows him, yet he is the knower and the object of knowledge. Sages describe him as the supreme original personality of Godhead. The hands, feet, eyes, and ears of the Supreme Person are not like those of an ordinary conditioned soul, which are derived from false ego, a material substance. Rather, the Lord's transcendently beautiful features are direct manifestations of His internal nature. Thus, unlike the soul and body of conditioned living beings, the Lord and His bodily form are identical in all respects. Moreover, his lotus hands, lotus feet, lotus eyes, and other limbs are not restricted in their functions. Sri Brahma, the Lord's first creature, glorifies him on this account. Angani yasya sakalindriya vritti bhanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti आनंद चिन्मय सदुज्वल विग्रहस्य गोविंदमादि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, and substantiality, and thus emanates the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of the transcendental figure possesses in itself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and he eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and material. Brahma Samhita 5.32. Srila Vishwanath Thakur gives an alternative explanation of the phrase Akhila Shakti Dhara. The power that the Supreme Lord maintains within himself is Akhila, free from the limitations of all that is khila or inferior and insignificant. He energizes the living being's senses as described by the Kena Upanishad 1.2. Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vacho Havacham. He is the ear's ear, the mind's mind, and the voice's capacity of speech. And the Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.8 declares, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natat samascha bhadikascha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate, swabhaviki jnana balakriyacha. He has no material work to perform, nor any material senses with which to perform it. No one can be found who is equal to or greater than him. From the Vedas, we hear how that Supreme Lord possesses multifarious energies, the potencies of knowledge, strength, and action, each of which acts autonomously. Indra and the other demigods who rule over mortal beings are themselves servants of the personality of Godhead, as are their superiors, Brahma and his sons, the secondary creators. All of these great gods and sages worship the Supreme Lord by performing their respective services of managing the universe and providing religious guidance for mankind. The powerful controllers of the universe submit themselves in fearful reverence to the Supreme Controller, Lord Sri Vishnu, as the Taittiriya Upanishad 281 states, Bhisham Shad Vatah Pavate Bhishad Eti Surayah Bhisham Smad Agnischa Indrascha Mrutyurdhavati Panchamaha. Out of fear of him, the wind blows. Out of fear of him, the sun moves. And Agni and Indra execute their duties. And death, the fifth of their number, races along out of fear of him. Shri Sridhar Swami prays, Anindriyo apiyo devaha sarvakaraka shaktidrik sarvajna sarvakartacha sarvasevyam namamitam. The Supreme Lord has no material senses, yet he controls every living entity's sensory functions. He is the knower of everything, the ultimate performer of all action, and everyone's proper object of devotional service. I offer my obeisances to him. Omagyanatimirandasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padaan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahabodhanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurat Vishe Namaha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. So I would like to welcome all of you for continuing our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, chapter entitled The Prayers of the Personified Vedas, and we read the text 28, verse translation in the purport. On Saturday, I was discussing on text 27, and a very important theme that was there in the purport was that only a devotee can understand Krishna. The last verse was that the devotee uh, disregards death, right? Disregards death and place their feet on the, his head, that is the head of the death personified. Why? Because they worship the Lord by taking the shelter of the Lord, they disregard death. While all others are always fearful of the instructions of the Vedas. Right? So this verse talks about the non-devotees like animals, though they may vastly learn it, they are bound by the Vedas, the instructions of the Vedas. So in a cultured society, right, in a cultured society, uh, people follow laws, right? Even the worldly laws, the laws made by the government. But if you find that people are, jaywalking, people are, looting others, and criminals all around, you won't say that's even a sane society. There has to be some level of law and morality to be followed. Hmm. Then we can understand there is sanity in people. Similarly, Krishna has given us the Vedas, the scriptures. They are the law book for the mankind. Script यह शास्त्र विधि मुत्सृज्य वर्तते काम कारतः न स सिद्धिम अवाप्नोति न सुखम न पराम गतिम. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, यह शास्त्र विधि मुत्सृज्य, one who those who give up the code, the scriptural codes, and don't live by the scriptures, but vartate kama karatah, they only function, they work as per their own wishes, whims, fancies, desires, lust. That's the benchmark for them. Why am I doing it? Because I like it. Like Nike. What is the punchline? Just do it. Coca-Cola. Enjoy. Don't think. Right? No rules. We simply enjoy. Like Will's cigarette. There's a company, cigarette company. Will's. Their punchline is live life king size. But you die rat size by smoking that cigarette, right? They forget that. Right? So Krishna is saying, Vartate kama karataha. To such people, those who do not follow the scriptures in their life, nasa siddhim avapnoti. They will not get any success in life. Six siddhi, any siddhi. Nasa siddhim avapnoti, na sukham na param gatim. Neither happiness nor any higher destination for them. So the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord, they disregard death. Uh, Everyone is fearful of death, but the devotees disregard death. Hmm? But others, all others, the non-devotees, and the verse is saying, like animals are bound. It's like animals are kept in leash, or animals are kept in cages. Right? Similarly, everybody else, all the conditioned souls, are bound by the instructions of the Vedas. Now, one will say, I don't follow Vedas. Yes, then you're all the more criminal. Right? I may disregard law for how long? Very soon I'll be caught. The mills of God grind slow, but they grind exceedingly fine. Sometimes when we are committing the wrong acts, we feel, no, nobody saw me, nobody caught me. I can do what I like, but for not for long. Similarly, the Vedic instructions are always above us and they're always there. So, non devotees, they are fearful of death, they are controlled by the Vedas. But the devotees, what happens? The devotees disregard death. So, in the Bhagavatam, you find a very beautiful presentation of Vrindavan. I'll come back to uh, only by bhakti you can understand Krishna. In Vrindavan, you find three kinds of entities. Many, but I am taking three here. There are devotees who are surrendered to Krishna. They are the Premi Bhaktas. Then, in between, you have, the guest appearance coming, some coming as guest appearance of the demigods and the demons. They also come in. And what do we see? The demons, they are fearful. They are fearful of Krishna. They come in with a great hope that we will win over Krishna, we will cheat Krishna. But what happens? Even as baby Krishna, Krishna is just few months, few days, and he kills Shakatasura, she kills Putana, right? So they think they can cheat God, they think they can kill God, but they cannot. Right? So the Asuras, they come in and they get killed by Krishna. What happens to the Devatas? The Devatas, the demigods also come and they challenge Krishna. And they challenge, and ultimately what happens after the whole pastime? You find Indra falling at the feet of Krishna, fearful. He's so fearful to come in front of Krishna, he keeps the Surabhi cow in front of him. Right? If I keep the Surabhi cow, then Krishna may forgive me. You find Brahma offering prayers. I was mistaken. I've committed a great blunder. Please forgive me, O Lord. With his four heads, Brahmaji was falling on the ground and praying to Krishna, please forgive me. And the place where that pastime happened, where Brahmaji was falling at the feet of Krishna, that village in Vrindavan is called as Chau Muha. Muha means face, heads. Chau Muha, four heads. With four heads, Brahma was crawling on the ground. Please, so the demons, they are fearful. The Devatas, they are fearful. But the devotees, the surrendered devotees of Krishna, what happens to them? When uh, when the children, when the kids, Krishna's sakhas, they are with Krishna in the forest, one day they feel like we want to play. Every day we are having the same kind of play. Let us, find some new game. What do they find as a new game? They suddenly look around, and in Vrindavan, they find a slope. They say, wow, we will climb up and then we will come down the slope, right? And Krishna and the friends were sitting and honoring prasadam, and they suddenly feel we want to play around. They see this and they all run towards that side. And Krishna, before he could think of anything, and could kind of caution them, the boys run into that huge mouth of Aghasur, who has kept his tongue out, and they are thinking it's a slope, right, where we can go and play. And Krishna loudly shouts out, don't go, that's an asura, don't go in. And the boys hear this. Krishna shout, the boys can hear. And one of them says, should we go or not? And the other one says, Krishna is there, don't worry. We don't fear of anything. That's what is being said here. They see death, but what happens? They are not fearful of death. We are surrendered to Krishna. We have taken shelter of Krishna. We don't need to. Huh? They all go in, and literally the fumes, the poisonous fumes coming from Aghasur's mouth, these boys fall unconscious, dead. And when Krishna enters in, Krishna simply by his glance reawakens them, brings them out. And by the time Krishna is going to come out, Aghasur closes his mouth. And then Krishna expands himself and breaks his head and comes out. Right? Like that. So his Atma comes out like that. And Krishna and the boys walk out. But that story I'm saying, that pastime I'm sharing, because the boys were not fearful. Why are they not fearful? This Bhagavatam verse is saying, because they have the bhakti for Krishna. Huh? Bhaktyaham ekaya grahaya. Only by bhakti can you, understand me. Only by practicing unalloyed devotional service with full faith in me can one obtain me, Krishna is saying. Huh? Full faith in Krishna, one can obtain Krishna, And Krishna is saying, I am naturally dear to my devotees who take me as the only goal of their loving service. By engaging in such pure devotional service, even the dog eaters can purify themselves from the contamination of their low birth. So, while talking to Uddhava in the 11th canto, Krishna repeats the same thing. Krishna there says, Na sadhayati mam yogo na sankyam dharma Uddhava. He's talking to Uddhava in the Uddhav Gita, and Krishna says, Na sadhayati. You cannot capture me. Right? You cannot have me. By what? Na sadhayati mam yogo. By any kind of yogic practices. Prabhupada says there are yogis who want to become smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. They want that siddhi. Like, Radhanath Swami in his book, The Journey Home, his autobiography that he has written, he writes there that one time he was with the Naga Babas. Right? Those who roam around, they are not seen also throughout the year. And he went about with few of them, and they decided in one forest they will sit and they will meditate. And Maharaj says, I also thought, okay, I'll also sit and meditate with them. And in between, when I opened my eyes, I saw them above the ground, levitating above the ground. What's going on here? What siddhi is this? They have become so light, they have gone above the ground. So the yogis, they want to capture God. They think by these yogic siddhis, will capture God. Krishna is telling Uddhava, you cannot. You cannot capture me. Na sadhayati mam yogo. Na sankyam dharma. By sankhya, by knowledge, cultivating knowledge, you cannot. By the practice of your varnashrama dharma, you cannot. Na swadhyaya, by performing swadhyaya, you cannot. Na tapaha, by your tapasya, you cannot capture God. Na tapas, na tyaga, not by charity can you capture God. Krishna says to Uddhava, Yatha bhaktir mamo arjita. Only by Shuddha Bhakti, only by pure devotional service unto me, can you capture me. Can you have me? You can have me. So, uh, in the in the in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 55th verse, Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyashchashvitatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. Krishna is telling Arjuna, so Uddhava is saying only by bhakti can you have me. And in the 18th chapter, 55th verse, Krishna is saying, only by bhakti you can understand me properly. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by bhakti can you understand me. So in this verse is especially connected to also to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We're going to celebrate Gaur Purnima. So I'll connect this verse to, and I'll tell you how it is connected to Lord Gauranga. This verse, 18 chapter, 55th verse. So, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. One verse comes, Bhaktir evainam nayati, Bhaktir evainam darshayati, Bhakti vashah purusho, Bhaktir eva bhujasi. Says, Bhakti leads the jiva to Krishna. Bhaktir evainam nayati. What can take us to Kishore Kishori? Only bhakti to them. Bhaktir evainam darshayati. How can you see Krishna? Only by bhakti can you see Krishna. Bhakti Vashah Purusha. I'll give one example. His name is Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. He says in one of his lectures that when he was a brahmachari in London, one of his services was in Bhaktivedanta manner. So many guests would come, and he would take them around the temple to give a tour of the temple tour. And he said these people would look around different place area, different walls and paintings and posters and this and that. And I would tell them, look at God, He is God, He's here. Where? And they would say, where is, oh, those are dolls, right? They could not see Krishna. Right? What can help you see Krishna? What can make you see Krishna? Only bhakti in the heart. Not by eyes, not through the eyes, not through the knowledge. Only by devotion can you understand Krishna, can you see Krishna. And more than that, this verse is saying Bhakti Vashaha Purusha. By bhakti, Krishna gets controlled by bhakti. If there's bhakti in a devotee's heart, bhakti vashah purusho, bhaktir eva bhuyasi. Bhakti is so glorious. Hmm? So, uh, this time, I have not gone to the next verse today. Okay. So 1855, Krishna is saying, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by bhakti can you understand me. So when Krishna also does not understand himself, and Krishna also wants to know himself, something more about himself, Chaitanya Charitamrita says one of the reasons why Lord Krishna appears as Gauranga. Why does he appear? He cannot understand what is in him as Krishna that Shrimati Radharani is attracted to. What is it that Radharani relishes that even Krishna cannot? To understand himself, he comes as a devotee to practice devotional service so that he can understand himself. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by bhakti you can understand me, Krishna is saying. So he comes as bhakta. As Lord Gauranga, he comes as his own devotee. And what does he do? Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Yavan yaschashmi tatvatah. You can understand Krishna's glories completely only by devotional service. Tato mam tatvato jnatva. And one understands me perfectly. Tatvatah vishate. One can enter into mysteries of my existence. Prabhupada translates it like that. So Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gauranga is none other than Krishna, who has come as a devotee, practicing devotional service to do what? To relish the greatest mysteries about Krishna. And this mystery, an entrance into this mystery of Krishna, Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So yesterday we discussed some very simple 4 gifts of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Gauranga. Today we'll discuss some more gifts. Vishate tad anantaram. What are these mysteries? Entering into the mysteries of Krishna. The first and the first and important mystery about Krishna that a devotee get entrance into by the mercy of Lord Gauranga is the understanding about the personal form of Krishna, which is also discussed in today's text 28. How Krishna is a person, how God is a person. God is just not some idea. God is not just some light. Right? Our Badri Narayan Swami Maharaj, he says, one time he gave a Sunday feast class in LA Temple. He gave a Sunday feast class. And after the class, one person, new person, came to meet him. And he said, looking at the altar and the deities, he said, I'm very happy and glad the way you are worshipping me here. What is this person saying? I'm happy and glad the way you are worshipping me here on the altar. I am only that, he's saying. Can you imagine? Understanding God is a person, unique person. I will never become God. The soul will always remain the soul, the part and parcel of Krishna. But the entrance into the personal understanding of Krishna, that God is a person, right? This contribution, the jnanis and yogis, they will only understand the partial realization of Krishna. Only the bhaktas and only by the mercy of Lord Gauranga, we come to understanding how Lord Shama Sundar, Yashoda Nandan, Nanda Nandan, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Mam Ekam, what does this Mam Ekam means? The Shama Sundar Krishna. So one time Vallabh Bhatta, he comes to Jagannath Puri and he says, uh, I have uh, I have tried to write an essay on the meanings of different names of Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya says, I only know 2 names of Krishna, Shyama Sundar and Yashodanandan. And I don't want to hear anything more. Lord Gauranga giving us entrance into the personal understanding of Krishna. Okay. Another gift of Krishna about the mysteries of Krishna. The first is the personal understanding of Krishna, Krishna being the Shyama Sundar. The second one is entering the inner circle of Krishna. The Vedas, they only talk about Purusharthas, four Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Lord Gauranga came to give us the Pancham Purushartha, Prema. And in that also, mostly what was getting discussed, Vishwanath Thakur says, all that was discussed. So, Shantaras, five rasas are there: Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhuri. So, in that, only Shanta or Dasya was discussed. And even if Sakhya was discussed, only the Aishwarya part of it. So Sakhya, Vatsalya, and all the more the inner circle, the gopis, how they serve Krishna, the manjaris, how they assist the gopis. This inner circle understanding of Krishna, this mystery about Krishna is available to us only by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gauranga. Another mystery, the third mystery that Lord Gauranga gives us entrance into, is into the confidential pastimes of Krishna. Very, very confidential pastimes. Right? Especially people, go to Rath Yatra, Jagannath Puri in India. Right? They go to attend Rath Yatra, and most people, if you have ever heard the commentary on the television when Rath Yatra is going on, some people say he's Buddha, some people say he's Shiva. What all understandings? Some will say, okay, lot of misunderstandings about it. But Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gauranga, brought it to us that this is Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra, and especially this Rath Yatra pastime is what happened at Kurukshetra when the gopis were pulling the cart. Come to Vrindavan. We don't want to see you in this Rajavesh, in this appearance like a king. We don't like to see. We want you to come to Vrindavan. So how the entire Rath Yatra is the devotees pulling the chariot of Krishna. More man Vrindavan. My heart is like Vrindavan. Krishna, please take, you make your residence there. So these confidential pastimes of Krishna, right? These pastimes, we got entrance into it because of the mercy of Lord Gauranga. Another mystery about Krishna is the mood, the Krishna's mood. How Krishna's different bhavas with his devotees. So, you find during the Rath Yatra, when Lord Chaitanya was dancing in front of the Rath cart, Lord Chaitanya recited one verse, one song actually. And everyone who heard that song, they felt, we don't know, there's some worldly song being sung, as if a girl is calling out her boyfriend and saying, I want to meet you at a certain place and nobody could understand what's going on here. But Rupa Goswami, after he went to his residence, he took a palm leaf and wrote a verse on it, and that verse was kept on the roof of his hut. And next day when Lord Chaitanya came there with devotees, he saw this leaf fluttering. He pulled out that leaf, and when he read that leaf, he was so happy. What has Rupa Goswami written? Beautiful handwriting and a beautiful verse. And by that time, Rupa Goswami comes from the ocean after his bath. And when Rupa Goswami comes, Lord Gauranga slaps him lovingly. So, Rupa, how could you understand my heart? How could you understand my mood? How could you understand my bhava? And Swarup Damodar Goswami there says, because he has achieved your mercy. He has received your mercy, that's why. So the entrance into the mood of Krishna. Next, entrance into the higher rasas. Jadi gaur na khaita, tabe ki khaita, kemo na dharitam de, radhar mahima, prema rasa sima, jagat janata ki. Prema rasa sima, the highest ecstasies of prema, who would have understood? And Lord Chaitanya inspired Ramanand Rai to speak about these subjects. Right? Where at Kovur, when Lord Chaitanya met Ramanand Rai, the discussions began. The discussions between Lord Gauranga and Ramananda Rai. And Lord Chaitanya is inspiring Ramananda Rai. Go ahead, speak more. Speak more. Is there anything more confidential? A point comes where Lord Gauranga, what does he do? He puts his hand on Ramananda Rai's mouth and covers it. Bas. Don't say anything more than this now. Sufficient. Ramananda Rai could have given more, but these higher rasas, Lord Chaitanya stopped him. Sufficient. Let our discussion can be up to this point itself. And there are so many wonderful leelas. Okay, last entrance into the confidential leela. We can enter the leela of the Lord. Yadyapi se leela kare gaur rai, kono kono bhagyavan jeev dekhi bare paye. Lord Chaitanya is performing his pastimes even now, right? Which is the pastime that we are part of? His Senapati Bhakta has come. Srila Prabhupada came and preached around the world. He is the associate of Lord Chaitanya. And if we assist him, we also get to take part in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. And Lord Chaitanya's pastimes give us entrance into Krishna's intimate pastimes, confidential leela. Srinivas Acharya, who has given us so many beautiful, wonderful songs, Srinivas Acharya one time was in trance for 2 days. He's chanting Hare Krishna. For 2 days, he's simply in pastimes of Krishna. He was in trance for 2 days. Now, what was he doing? He was searching for a lost ring of Srimati Radharani. For 2 days, he was searching in the groves of Vrindavan. And what happened? Ramachandra Kaviraj, he sat for chanting. He went into meditation, the Leela of the Lord, and he entered there. Right? And Ramachandra Kaviraj found the ring. He is sitting in meditation, trying to look for the ring. Ramachandra Kaviraj is looking for the ring. And Ramachandra Kaviraj found it. And Radharani was very pleased. And what did he do? Radharani gave her own chewed betel nut to Ramchandra Kaviraj. And they both came out of the pastime. Like that. One time Rupa Goswami is chanting Hare Krishna. And he has connected to the eternal Leela of the Lord. And what happens? In the meditation, he saw that Radharani, Lalita, Vishaka and the gopis, they are near Kusum Sarovar. They are plucking flowers from the trees. And the branches are little high. And these small girls, they're kind of trying to jump and pluck the flowers. And Krishna comes in there. And what did Krishna do? He climbed the tree and with his feet, he pushed the branch down. And Lalita says, wow, today Lord Vishnu is so merciful. Lord Narayan is very merciful on us so that we can get these flowers. The branch has come down by itself. And Lalita and Vishaka, what do? They jump, they climb the branch, they catch hold of the branch and they start plucking flowers. And then Krishna, what does he do? He lifts his leg and the branch goes up and Lalita and Vishaka are hanging. And Rupa Goswami sees this, how Krishna is playing with these gopis, and he laughed. And all this is happening in his meditation. So by mercy of Lord Gauranga, one can enter into this confidential leela. So bhakti is what connects us to Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati, bhaktya ekala grahya, and that bhakti, especially Lord Gauranga, I said, bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschashmi tattvataha. Lord Gauranga especially can give us entrance into very, very confidential pastimes. Tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. So we'll come to today's verse. So today's verse, especially text 28, we're beginning today's class. This was yesterday's remaining purport, purport that was remaining. So text 28 again talks about fear. So devotees do not fear. The demigods, they are sure, and everyone else is fearful. What are they fearful of? Here it is said, everyone in this world, The demigods, the demons, everyone is working out of what? The demigods, who are especially the proprietors, they are the controllers, they're all subordinate to Krishna. What are they doing? They're working out of fear. Whose fear? Krishna's fear. So in the third canto, 25th chapter, 42nd verse, this is Kapil Muni telling his mother, Madbhayad vati vatoyam, out of my fear, wind is blowing. Suryastapati madbhayat, the sun is glowing because of, right, the sun is moving around and glowing. Tapati madbhayat, out of my fear for me. Varshati Indra, Indra is offering the rains out of my, and Dahati Agni, and Agni is burning because of my fear. Mrutyush, and death, Charati, Mrityu, Madbhayat, because of my fear. Hmm? So Prabhupada says in the lecture to that verse, Prabhupada says everything, huh, everything in the world is functioning out of fear of God. Right? Otherwise, Prabhupada says, you know, the sun rises every day. You can predict the rise of the sun, and you can predict the sunset and sunrise. Why is the sun, which is so huge, following that schedule? Out of fear, Prabhupada says. The air is blowing, the demigods are functioning, Indra is functioning, everybody is functioning because of fear of Krishna, out of fear of Krishna. Hmm? But Prabhupada says, nobody can say, I am not fearful of anything. Can anybody say in this world? Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithunam. These four things are common between human beings and animals. And Prabhupada says, especially the fear factor. There's always fear. Something will happen. Something will not go the way I would like it to. Right? Prabhupada says, this is because we all have taken this material body. The material body causes us to, and makes us feel death is coming. Anytime death can come. Hmm? But Srila Prabhupada says, uh, this Madbhayat, there are very strong, these are very strong sources of fearfulness, Prabhupada says. That, the scorching heat, the rainfall, the cyclone, all this is happening because there is somebody out of whose fear. Like the children in the school, they come to school at the right time. They'll attend all their classes. They will do their homework. Why? The fear of the teacher. The teacher is there. The principal is there. Right? The rules are there. Similarly, all of us, when we look at this world, we may feel, yeah, I can predict which is the next season. How can you predict? We all can easily predict what's going. Oh, next week after winter we will experience summer now. Why? Why should that season only come? Out of fear of Krishna. Ekale Ishwar Krishna Arasa Britya. Jaha Jaiche Nachaye Te Taise Kare Nritya. What is it saying? Only Ishvara is Krishna. Everyone else is servant. And the servant functions and performs everything out of fear of the master. Ekala Ishwar Krishna Arasa Britya. So the demigods, Surya, Chandra, Vayu, Varan, Brahaspati, 33 crores demigods. They all have their planets, but they are all servants of Krishna. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Entire Prakriti is functioning out of fear of Krishna. So Prabhupada says all the natural functions, the nature is working. Prabhupada says, but nature is matter. Can matter function by itself? Prabhupada says, huge aeroplane. It is standing there on the tarmac, but would not move. But one pilot enters, and this plane will fly now. Prabhupada says, nature is working, but whose nature? Out of whose fear the nature is working? Matter cannot work by itself. So Prabhupada says, the dull matter. Prabhupada says, the dull matter. All this matter, material nature is functioning out of the fear of Krishna. So the verse for today was saying that everybody is fearful. Even the great demigods are working out of fear, and especially the fear of death. But the devotees, They are not fearful of death. They know we have Krishna. When death appears, they know, devotees know that we'll remember Krishna and we will go back to Krishna. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Hare Krishna Guru. I have a question regarding the fear. Like you explained. So, as a devotees, they don't fear of that. Because of they know that Krishna is protector. And
You know what Prabhupada did one time? In New York, Prabhupada was in New York. And Prabhupada told devotees, I don't fear death. You don't fear death? Prabhupada said, I can cross the red signal. I don't wait for the red signal. He simply would walk. And Satsurup Maharaj writes, we all were fearful. The cars are coming and Prabhupada was like, just simply move. And they said, Prabhupada, you are fearless, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada says, not just now. When I would live alone in New York, people would tell me, Swamiji, early morning you take your cane and you walk in the streets of New York. There are some crazy people sitting with their guns in the windows. They are out killing. They kill people like that. Prabhupada said, I was not fearful anytime. I always dependent on Krishna.
thank you. Guru. So, the karmis will obviously the fear of that. But in between, there is a Mayavadi philosophers like Socrates. What is their
Socrates is Brahmavadi, Prabhupada says. He is not Mayavadi.
no,
He is self-realized. He says, if you cannot catch me, how can you kill me? So that he understood he is Atma. He is beyond the body. Suppose he is Brahmavadi. Yeah.
so what is which these Mayavadis they will fall under which category?
So even the realization that I am soul can give one fearlessness at the level that I'm not the body. Even if the body is dead, I'm Atma. Nothing happens to me. Even that can give fearlessness. But again, at the level of Atma, the fear is the loss of identity. The fear is I want Shanti. I want eternal peace, but it's not coming to me. How do I get it? Right? So that fear, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha, and that Bhaya is loss of identity. Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita. Stop. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.